Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Let's make something that smells so good, looks so good. You guys stay tuned. So I am still doing a Dollar Tree makeover, and I know that some of you are coming down to the wire with your craft fairs, so I thought I'd throw some quickies out there just in case you need a few more really cute things for your table. And the Dollar Tree seems to be a perfect place to go to get those things. So here's what we have today. So we've got these wonderful, wonderful tea light candles, and I'm going to pull in my pack. You get 8 of them in a pack for $1, and they are so super fragrant, and these are called Spice Pumpkin. And guys, they smell terrific, but they also look terrific when we place them in a really cute holder and we group them on our craft fair table, or we drop them in a stocking, or we give them as a gift to a coworker, family member, or friend. These are such versatile little gifts, and they truly would make little stunners for your craft fair table, and they're so quick to make, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So let's get started on making this. So to make our project, we need to start with a piece of paper that measures 6 1/8 by 9 1/4. And on the 6 1/8 side, we're going to score this at 3/4, 1 1/2, 3 1/4, 4, and 5 3/4. And then we'll turn it to the 9 1/4 inch side, and we're going to score this at 3/4, 1 1/2, and then we'll rotate it to the opposite 9 1/4 inch side, and we'll score again at 3/4 and 1 1/2. And then we'll go ahead and fold and burnish our scores before we start getting rid of paper. All right, so once we have everything folded and burnished, we're going to need to get rid of some pieces of paper. And I am going to just outline this for you guys so that you'll see. So on this narrow flap here, the narrowest flap that you have on this box, this is going to be your fold-in flap. So on the end, we're going to have 2 rectangles. We'll get rid of those. Then we're going to have a very long rectangle. We'll get rid of that. And then we'll have a small rectangle next to it. We'll get rid of that. And then we'll come down to this end, and we'll have 3 corner pieces that we'll need to get rid of. So hopefully you guys can see what I've done. So here I've got the 2 rectangles, then I've got the long rectangle, the small square, then I come over, I've got a small square, small square, small square. And you got, this will make sense once you guys see me starting to cut this out. So with my paper like this, and my fold-in flap is up here, I am going to cut out my bottom tabs. So I am going to come up to the second score mark, and I will be releasing my tabs. So I removed those 2 corner squares and then that smaller corner square, and this is what I'm left with. Then I'll come to this one, and I'm going to go up to the second score mark, and I'm just going to remove some of this to angle cut it, and then I will cut in on this one, and come in and remove that piece there. And then I'm going to angle cut in on my small tab here just to give it some room so that I can put it together. Then I'll turn it, and I'm just going to come up and cut out that long piece. And then I'll go ahead and remove this rectangle here. And then I'll angle cut in just a little bit on this. And this is what we're left with. So you can see how this looks. And I'll leave this sitting here for just a moment so that you guys can see it. And then I'll come over on the other side and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to come up and go up to my second score mark. And then I'm going to come in and free my tabs. And I'll remove this small piece here. And then I'm going to come in on these pieces and just cut them in just a little bit, because it makes folding the box a lot easier. So you can see that what I've done over here, I'm now doing over here. So now I'll come up to the second score mark here, and I'm going to come in and just angle cut on this tab and free it up. And then I'll come back and remove that small piece. And then I will just angle cut in just a little bit here to free that up. And then I'll come back and I'm going to remove this rectangle here and this piece here. And I'll make sure that I give a slight angle cut here and here. And now I've got my box ready to put together. So where I've got the smaller flap, that's my fold-in flap, and then everything else becomes how I will put this box together. So the first thing that I want to do before I put the box together is I have a piece of chipboard that measures 1 1/4 by 3, and I want to go ahead and cut out my opening. My opening will be on the lid, and this is the lid to our box because we've got the fold-in flap. We've got that narrow piece, so we know this is our lid. So I am going to take my reptile glue, and then I will position this down. And you can really put it wherever you want it. I could have moved it further over, but I just decided I would work with that. And then I'll come back with my bone folder, get that stuck down. And then I'm simply going to cut around this. And then I have a piece of acetate that measures 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I am going to take my glue and just run my glue along the outer edge. And then I'll take my acetate and I'm going to lay it down, try to get it in my glue. And then I'll come back with my bone folder and I'm going to push up and push back. And I did get a little bit of glue on the acetate, so I'm just going to wipe that off while it's drying and before it dries. And that way my acetate will be nice and clear so you can see how pretty that is. Now we can put this box together. So the way that we do it is we are going to take from the bottom, because we've got 2 flaps here, so we're going to take that bottom tab and just glue it to the bottom piece. And I'll come back in with my bone folder so I can get that nice and stuck down. And then I'll take my glue and get this stuck. Lay it on the side, make sure it's nice and straight. I'll get this stuck down. Then I'll take these two tabs here and I am going to place glue on them. And I will get them stuck to the inside. Making sure that everything is nice and squared. I'll come in with my bone folder on this and get it stuck. And then I'll come in on this end. I'm going to place my glue. And then I'll stand it up and get it stuck. So now I'm going to take my back piece and just kind of bend it backwards for just a moment because I need it to be out of the way. So I'm going to take this piece, fold it back, this piece, fold it back, and then I'm just going to take glue, place it on that, and fold that in. And I'm going to go over that very well because I want that paper to lay as flat as possible. And then I'll do the same thing on this longer piece. Gonna glue it very well. Come back with my bone folder and get that nice and stuck down. And you can see our box is taking shape. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'll fold that in. And because I'm putting just candles in here, I'm not using any chipboard, but if you want to, you can add chipboard to this box if you want to make it even more stable than it is. And it's actually pretty stable. So at this point, I'll bring in my 4 candles. And the size of this box is designed to fit 4 standard tea light candles. So then I am going to take this and fold it in. But before I do, I want to make sure that that's going to go in real easy. And if it doesn't, then all we need to do is come back and just nip a little bit, not a lot. Just nip a little off. And I'm really starting with a sliver because I don't want to cut too much off. And guys, I will tell you, those candles are very fragrant and they smell very good. So then all I have to do now is just close my cute little pumpkin box. And there we've got our gorgeous, gorgeous pumpkin candles inside of our pumpkin papered box. And the paper that I used was by Garcia and it's called Amber Moon. And it is from Prima. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just dress this box a little bit like I did this one. So all I did was I took a small piece of lace. I'm not even going to use a really big piece. And I just kind of folded it over like that and I laid it there. Then I took my twine and I am going to make a twine bow. And I also bought my twine from the Dollar Tree. And you get 3 rolls for $1. So the way that I make my bow is this time I'm going to use these 4 fingers and I'm going to just lay it down like this, creating this first tail, and then I'll wrap it around very loosely. And you wrap it around as many times as you want for the type of bow that you want. So I think I'm satisfied with this. And when I am satisfied, all I'm going to do is cut off and I'll now have 2 tails. So I'll take the tail that I just cut off and I'm going to bring the bow out of my hand and pinch it. Then I'll take that tail that I cut off and I'll wrap it around my bow twice, and then I'm just going to come back through where I wrapped it around and pull it, and then I'll bring it down to where the other one is, and that gives me the tails for my bow. So now I'm going to take that and I just want to lay it on this, just like that. And I am going to use my hot glue for this. I want to put a little bit there and a little bit there. And then I'm just going to place this down just like that. Want to make sure that when you're placing your hot glue, you're not placing it so that you close up your box. That would be bad. So then I'm just going to cut off a little bit of both of these. I'm going to cut off some of my twine and some of my lace because I don't need it all on there. And the last thing that I'll do is I have this cute little flower, got it from Tuesday Morning, and I am just going to take some hot glue, place the hot glue on the back, and then I will just put that down and hold it until it sets. So then once it's all decorated, this is what you're left with. You're left with two gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous little items that you can set out on your craft fair table. You can drop into a Christmas stocking. You can gift these as birthday gifts. They are just so stinking cute and so easy to make. So I hope that you guys have liked this project. And if you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.